So welcome to this free training, which I called How to Make More Money as a Creative Online Without Working Harder or Being Famous. Today, what you will learn is the following. I will start presenting what is passive income to me and why it's my favorite business model. I will uncover the common myths and I will tell you what's the right mindset to have. I will show you my step-by-step process to create products that bring me passive income, and I'll show you how to start right now. Now, before we start with the training, I want to make sure you know that this was recorded with live attendees. So if you hear me talking to people, it's normal. It's because there were people live, and this is the recording of that free training. Now, if you stay until the end, I will share with you all about my membership, which is called the Passive Income Growth Academy. And as you can see, it's a very low cost per month. And I just created it to help people who get stuck, who have doubts, or who feel alone and overwhelmed with the whole process. So if you want to know more about this, I'll share all the details at the end, but you can also find them underneath this video recording. And if you stay until the end, you will get free gifts just for watching. Even if you don't join the membership, you can still get those free gifts, which will help you get started with what you will learn from this training. So I recommend you to stay until the end, check out if the membership is a good option for you or if it's not, and learn how to apply for those free gifts, because I'll give you the instructions at the end. Okay, so let's start talking about how to grow in an easy and realistic way, okay? So the typical business model will be offering done for you services, as we spoke on the beginning, or offering custom commissions. Maybe you are an illustrator or you do some kind of, maybe the same graphic design work can also be offering custom commissions if each client comes with a specific and different need, we can say. And then it's possible that you are selling made to order products. So there are some of you who mentioned physical products. Usually those products, you create them when you have an order. So these are usually the normal businesses to start, and this is how I started. But then when you want to grow those businesses, usually there are only two ways, or we can only think of two ways to earn more money. Option A would be to find more clients, and option B would be to increase your pricing. So if you choose option A, finding more clients, you will have to work more because you will have to multiply the time you dedicate. So if you have more clients, you will have to dedicate more time, you will get more tired, and there is a limit of time on the day, right? So this is something that people struggle with, and we tend to burn out. At least that happened to me. Then if you don't want to work more, or you cannot work more, then you will have to hire somebody to help you. And that means you will have to pay and really be aware of how much you, so that there's a moment in which usually you find yourself that you cannot pay as much as you think the other person deserves, because then you will not earn enough to grow. So I found myself in that circle, and I understand this is really a struggle to grow. Then you probably will need to grow your audience. And by doing this, you will have to either pay for ads or collaborate with others, or take some expert or do yourself some SEO work or other organic growth systems. And all of these will probably take time, money, whatever. So it's not an easy solution, and it's not something that maybe everyone is ready to invest on it. Then option B, increasing your pricing, will not take all that we just commented, but it will mean that you will have to work harder to convince your clients, and sometimes probably you will lose some clients because they will not be willing or ready to pay your new rates. As I was saying, if you pretend to grow, there are these solutions, and I'm not saying they are not the right way to go, but it takes time, it takes effort, it takes probably money, and sometimes we dedicate so much to it and we are not aware of the consequences. And honestly, I burned out so many times that when I discovered passive income, I literally loved it, and I cannot stop telling people to start selling digital products. So this is why I'm doing this training. Okay, so let's start talking about passive income. What is it? Passive income, it's any service or product that you offer, and when you offer it, you create it or you do it one time, and then it doesn't require you to do any extra work for each client or each new sale you get. So in general world, or we can say outside of online business world, usually we can think of passive income when you have a building or a flat or an apartment and you rent it, because you don't have to do much work for it. Probably you'll have to do some contracts or check that things are going well. There is a little bit of work, but the income comes and you don't do any extra work. But in this case, I want to talk about instant digital products, which can apply to creative businesses like the ones we have. And in here, I'm talking about templates, and I see some people who already are selling templates or planning to sell them. So that's amazing. And that's the reason why I'm doing this training, to convince and to help other creatives be aware of this solution. So templates, fonts, clip art, ebooks, anything that you can create one time, upload it for sale, and then people buy it and you don't do anything else. You can literally be outside, you can be traveling, you can be sleeping, and people will still receive that digital file, and you will have not even to send it to them. So there are some differences. Sometimes people think, okay, I'm going to do templates. Let's say I'm going to do branding templates, and every time I have a new client, I will have the template ready and I will just apply their names or whatever they need, and I'll send them the files. That's not 100% passive income, because you have to do the work every time a new client comes, and the client has to wait until you have done it. So the ideal is that you sell directly the file and they edit it by themselves. So why is this so awesome? Because as I was saying, there is no extra work after each sale. It's totally automated. So if you do it online, well, you have to do it online, but if you do it on platforms that are specialized on this, you don't have to do anything. They do everything for you. And if you do it on your website, it will take just one time of coding or setting things up, and then everything will be automated. You can literally make money while sleeping. This happens to me daily and I love it. And that's why I really hope many people join this system, because I think it's amazing. I'm so in love with it, you can tell. Then it brings you freedom, and it's freedom to create whatever you want. So you don't have to be working on custom commissions or waiting for clients to come in order to create something. You can create things and then put them for sale, and people will come and they will love the thing and they will buy it as it is. They will not need custom changes from you. You will avoid or forget about client quotes, invoices, payments. Everything will be automated. They have to pay before they get the file, so no more worries about this. You can do infinite sales. without working more hours, because it will take the same time for you to create the product and sell it one time than selling it 1 million times. So it's a way to multiply the income without multiplying the hours. And the most tempting thing I could say is that it's free to start. You don't have to invest in anything. So who am I and why am I telling you this? Just very quickly, I'm Claudia Orengo. I studied graphic design in Barcelona and in Denmark. So as I was saying at the beginning, I'm a graphic designer. And I also started painting, but I never studied for that, watercolors. So I'm a self-made artist. And once I started painting and I started uploading them online and my clients were seeing them, it became part of my style. So over the years, I've become really known for my watercolor paintings. Now, I currently have two brands. One is heartmade.es, in which I'm pivoting to dedicate the most of my time to help other creatives start their business online and grow their businesses online. But it started as a graphic and web design business, and I still have some clients of those. Just the story is I started just as a graphic and web designer, freelancing on 2013. So before I was working for other companies, and then I decided I wasn't meant to be working for companies. I had freelance blood, and I loved the freelancing style. So when I started, I was offering any kind of design because I'm a graphic designer and I can literally understand any, we can take any business and any situation. So I'm happy to adapt my style to the needs of the clients. But then over time, when I painted more and more and more, people started to come to me just because they wanted me to apply my paintings into their brandings or into their websites. So it became a combination of both. And then on the other side, I have Lovers Love Loving, which is a company dedicated to do custom wedding stationery. And it also just was born because of my watercolor paintings. And every time more and more, I want to pivot it into digital products, but it's been kind of a challenge to me. So I love the custom and I love to have this side of doing handmade things. So most of the digital products and passive income I'm gonna share with you and all that stories, they relate more to the heartmade.es brand and just my name, Claudia Orengo, than to the wedding business. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water and I'm gonna continue. Okay, so how I started with passive income. As I was saying, I started freelancing on 2013, but before that, and I have this here open, before that, I already had a shop on Etsy and I was selling handmade products. So I started with the name Heartmade Soaps because I was doing soaps. I guess we can find them somewhere here. Yeah. So those were the soaps that I was doing and I was selling them well. But of course, it took too much time. I was working for a company 9 to 7 or 8 here in Barcelona. We work long hours. And I remember just going outside work, running before the post office closed, just to send the soaps. And one day I was really counting how much I was earning, and I realized I was losing money because I tried to sell them just an affordable price, and people were loving them, were very happy with them, but it cost me money. It cost me more to produce them, to package them, and to ship them than what I was getting paid for. So then I started creating other products, and those were the ones you were seeing here. So I also started, let's see if we find some here. As you can see, I sold many. This is the this is the link to my selling products. So these are the sales that I did. It's not the shop because the shop is not open anymore. Then I moved to scrunchies and hair stuff. And then I pivoted to start to create those pencil cases. And the one with the map got really viral and I got so many sales from it. So in total, you can see I made 300 sales in a few years. And the thing about it, although I loved creating things, selling them and shipping them to over the world, it was that it became boring to me to create more of the same. So at the end, I closed the shop, and at that moment, I already had opened my digital product shop. So this was just kind of a test for me. So the digital shop, it's this one. We are also on the sales page, and as you can see, the first products I decided to sell were super simple. It just the painting, I scanned it and I sell it as a desktop wallpaper. So I'm sharing with you this because starting with digital products can be as simple as this. Just one day I woke up and I said, hey, let's try this digital option that Etsy offers and let's see what happens. And it actually was the product that sold the quickest. I'm selling them at, I think, around $4, something like this. So it's a really affordable price and people pay and then they get a link to download, they get the file and I don't have to do anything. So this was my way to discover passive income. And honestly, it was amazing. The first day I did sell that way, it was so wonderful. I couldn't stop telling people about it. And I started thinking, okay, what else can I create? So I created these quotes and I started imagining how much could I do with this system. That's when, or at the same time, we could say, I discovered Minted. And Minted, I don't know if you know it, but it's a website from the United States that sells mainly stationery, but also art. And then they run challenges. And sorry, I'm reading the chat. For the scrunchies and pencil pouches, were you using a print-on-demand shop? If so, which one? No, I was doing them by myself. So I started with physical products, and then my first digital products were those. I'm gonna talk a little bit later on print-on-demand shops, but those I just sew them by myself. I was going to buy the fabrics, to buy the zippers. I did everything by myself, by hand. And I love doing things by hand, but it's when I realized, okay, if I have to multiply myself, I have to find another way. And at that moment, I couldn't find it. So I closed the shop and I was already selling these other products. And that's how I really started with digital products. So Minted, as I was saying, it's a website where you as an artist or designer, you can participate on their challenges. And if you win one of the challenges, they will produce your design and they will sell it. Then they will pay you a commission, like a license for the design, and then a commission every time they sell it. And I discovered it, I think it was on 2015. Then I participated on a first challenge that I found because they ran multiple challenges. You can go here and see how many opens they have. So right now it's all under voting, but usually they have new challenges and you can go inside and see what they request. So this is what I did. I participated in one, and in the first one I got selected. So it was amazing, the experience. And I also started chatting with the other artists. I discovered the community and I realized, because I wasn't aware at that time, that this was bringing me passive income too. Because every time anyone buys one of my products, I receive an email. And then at the end of the month, Minted pays me for the commissions. So I'm not doing anything. I'm not producing these products. They do it all by themselves. and I'm just getting paid. Finally, I want to explain you when I started my creative market shop, because this is mostly what changed everything. So we can say that one day I realized I was using so much this website, the creative market website, to buy fonts, to buy any graphics I could need, that I thought, hey, what if I sell my graphics? So I applied to open a shop, I got accepted, and I started uploading products. And in a few days, I got my first sale. And then later in a minute, I'm going to explain you more in detail how many earnings I made and everything on creative market. But this is how I started. And then those products, which are just my paintings scanned and cleaned so that people can use them individually with a transparent background, these products, I have now them in multiple platforms. Just the same product, I upload it to multiple platforms and they sell everywhere. So this was kind of my journey until today, where I sell in multiple platforms, as I was saying. And I hope it just serves you as an inspiration, but I also want to share other examples from other people who has nothing to do with me, or who I did not encourage to start, so that you can see it's possible for everyone and it's not something that I've done and nobody can replicate it. So the first example I want to talk to you about is Every Tuesday. I don't know if you know her, but she's kind of known in the business, and she makes a tutorial every Tuesday. That's why her name is this one. She makes amazing tutorials. And over the years, she has become known for designing with the iPad, and especially creating letterings and handmade words and fonts. She even has a course on how to design your own font. And as you can see, this is her shop, and she sells her products as digital products. So this is something that not only me or not a few people are doing. Very famous and known people are doing the same system. They are taking their products and selling them digitally. Then another example, it's Mia Vicente, and I love her art. She's an artist, so as you can see, this can be applied in many kinds of businesses. So she's an artist, and I met her on Minted, and these are her products on Minted. So she sells her originals, of course, and you can purchase them, but she also sells her paintings digitally through Minted, and I guess through other platforms too, which generates her passive income. And again, from one painting, he can do multiple sales. It's not like she sells one copy and then she has to replicate it. And it's not like she sells prints, which means she has to print it and ship it and do all the work. She actually just sits or do her new collection at her home with her kids, and the paintings are selling digitally through Minted. And finally, the last example I want to show you, it's from my brother. And it's funny because I never told him to do this. I actually don't know if he started first or I started first. But after some years, we were chatting and we discovered that both were into passive income products, but we did not comment it between each other. So he's a photographer and a videographer, and that's his way to sell his products. So he opened a shop on Shutterstock, and he's selling, these are time lapses. That's how he became most famous. He's earning quite a good amount every month through his videos, and he loves traveling as much as I do. So every time he travels around, he takes his camera and he does these short videos. You can see it's 9 seconds, but maybe he stayed here for an hour or 3, just waiting for the stars to move. And then he created the time lapse so people can use it on their commercials or whatever they need. So these are other examples of people who have been selling their digital products, and I hope this serves you to visualize how you can implement this with your skills. Now, something I find very important to talk about are some myths or some beliefs should we should take out because they are stopping us from taking action. So how you should really program your mindset to start believing that passive income is possible for you. So it's possible that you think or you question yourself, do you need fancy equipment or tools to create and sell digital products? This is a question I've been asked a couple of times, and I want to be very clear with you. The answer is no. You don't need anything else than what you have right now. So, of course, my brother has a super high quality camera because he is a professional photographer and videographer, and because it's his hobby too. So, he loves spending money in the best equipment. But that doesn't mean that somebody who has even a mobile camera can sell something. So I'm not saying you're serving the same audience. So what my brother is selling is super high quality. So people will value that if they need it to be shown on super big screens or they need it to look super professional. But there are many other people who just need one picture in a certain way. And if you are able to take that picture and you do it with your phone, if you are very specific on the size that you are selling it, the resolution, so everything that characterizes that picture, if they are okay with that because they don't need it for anything else than, let's say, a website, then it's fine. So here you have two examples. On the left, you can see one of my desktop wallpapers. And at that time, I was living in Berlin and I had no scanner with me. And I couldn't find a place to scan. So I take the picture with, I cannot remember if it was my iPhone 5 or an old camera I had, but it's not professional picture and it's not a scan, but it's serving its purpose because it's only for screens and people don't need to print it. And I don't want people to print it. If I wanted people to print it, then I will sell it at a higher resolution. But since I'm selling it so cheap and I just want them to use for something digital and personal, it serves its purpose. Then on the right side, you can see a design that I did. It's for a calendar. And all that I was using are my printings. So my illustrations, the programs that I already had on my computer, which are Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. So I did not buy anything else. I did not learn any new skill. I was just using what I already knew and had and creating digital products. And that's what I want you to do too. I don't want you to overcomplicate things. Then another thing you might be thinking is if you are just starting and you don't have enough followers, you cannot get sales. Well, here you have some real stats. So on the left, you can see the traffic on my Creative Market shop, and you can see that from these 15,378 visits, 8,000, almost 500, all of those, so 54, almost 55% came through Creative Market. And then some came from external search, which means they were using Google mainly. Some came from social media and some came from other. This can be any other website. But you can see how more than half came from the same platform. And I'm sharing this because I want you to be very sure that selling in big platforms means that they will bring the traffic to you because they really want you to sell. They will earn a commission for each sale you do. So this is how they do business. They don't create the products. They wait for people like you and me to create the products, upload them on their site, and they do the promotion and they do all the hard work that usually for us, it's not easy to do. They do all of that so that we can do sales and they can earn their commission and you can be happy with them and create more products. So if you're thinking I cannot start because I don't have an audience or nobody knows me, this is your answer. There is no better place to sell than those big platforms that are already doing the job for us. They are already having lots of email subscribers, visitors every day. So they are experts on what they sell and how to sell it, and they will do the work for us. So another thing you may be thinking, what if nobody buys me? Well, if you don't try, you will never know. But this is what happened to me on the first months of Creative Market. So these are my stats. I had all those sales that you can see here, and I made $360 in earnings. So this means after they take my commissions. In total, I sold things valued 540, but this is what I earned. I was super shocked. I was expecting nobody to buy. I mean, every time I uploaded something to Etsy, especially the handmade products, there was so much competition, and I had to do so much research on what was the latest algorithm and the best way to add the SEO, the tags, everything, and where to promote it and how to get more visitors. And all that was a struggle, and it took me a long time to get sales. Then with digital products, it was easier, but honestly, when I started my creative market shop, I couldn't believe how easy everything was. I wasn't doing any promotion, and things like sales were coming. You can see here on the stats. So I'm just showing you as a proof that things like this can happen to anybody else. It's not like I have something special. Then you may be thinking, okay, there is too much competition, it's too late for me, there is so many people doing the same I do, why should I start? You have to think that there is many people who are looking for the products that only you can create. So if you stay true to your style, you will be different from the others, and competition will no matter. If I was worried about competition, I will not be doing this training. I will not be sharing with you the places I sell and how much I earn, and I will not want anybody else to join. So I guess that's proof that competition should not worry you. I think in this online world and the world we live, it's so big that anybody from any place in the world can find you and buy from you. But the only way they can purchase your products is if you upload them. So you need to try. You need to believe there is a place for you. And finally, you may be thinking it's too much work. I'm too busy right now. I don't have time. I will be back to it when I have the time. Now I'm going to learn all this and I'm going to keep it on a notebook and I will see when I can apply it. Well, my message to you is that the longer you wait, of course, the longer it will take you to see results. And the best time to start is now, because you will not upload something today and get a sale immediately. It may be that happens. It happens to some people, but the usual is that you have to upload a series of products. They have to be on those platforms for a while. They have to get the promotion they need, and eventually you will have the sales. So I've been talking to people who there is one example. She recently lost her job, and I was telling her, hey, it's your time to dedicate the time to really create digital products. That way, when you have a job again, you will not have time to create more products, but your products will be already uploaded. So you will get income from both places. And she kept insisting, no, I have to dedicate to get another job. And then when I have the job, I will create the digital products. And I know she's not going to do it, because when we focus, whatever it is, if we focus on something, we forget about the rest. That's what focus means, right? So when you have the free time, it's the best time to start. But if you don't have the free time right now, don't wait until you have it, because when this free time comes, if it comes, you will prioritize other things. So what I'm trying to say is, even if you only have 1 hour a week or 1 hour every couple of weeks, take that time aside and create something and try it. I always say start with the easiest, and we will cover it in the next slides. So don't worry, I'm not pretending you to spend hours and hours and hours creating one product. The opposite. I want you to open the eyes and see the possibilities of things you can create just with what you have, the talents and the tools that you have right now. Okay, so let's move to my step-by-step process, okay? So the first thing I do, and I recommend anyone to do, is to brainstorm and analyze, okay? So you want to always have a list handy. I have a digital list, so I can open it from anywhere and type any new idea I have there. But you can have it on a notebook, wherever you want. Then think what's easier for you to create instead of download a template. So this question means if you are a designer like me, or if you, well, let's use design as an example, okay? So this happened to me. I was designing websites and I wanted to do my presentations to my clients in a beautiful way. I did not want it to just send the JPEG or PDF of what I was designing. I wanted to show it inside the computer as if they were watching a laptop or a computer and seeing their website inside. So in order to create this, I had to do a digital mockup. I had to take a picture of a computer and digitally edit it with Photoshop and add my design inside. I started searching online for digital mockups of computers, and everything I found, it was so not me. And the ones that I liked, they were out of my budget. So I really found that it was easier for me to create that product instead of finding it online or downloading from somebody else. So this is the question, or this is the thing I want you to be aware. And it's possible it doesn't come right now to you, the answer, but keep this question in mind and be aware of the things you download, the things you try to search and you cannot find and you end up doing by yourself, because those are niches that you later can dedicate to create products and you can really find success there. And the story I was telling you about the website mockups, it ended up with a new shop for me with these kind of products, and it was really successful. Okay, so the next tip inside brainstorming, it's to focus in your expertise, okay? So if you are a photographer, focus on photography. Don't try to learn how to do fonts because it's going to take you forever. And maybe you end up realizing you don't like it that much, or you don't think it's worth the time it takes to create new fonts. So as you can see, I started painting with watercolors, so I created products from it. And because I had my camera and my father is a photographer, so I know a little bit about photography, I could do the other digital products that I'm going to show you in a minute. And I can sell pictures too. They are not like studio pictures, but they serve the goal and the purpose that I wanted them to serve. Then I'm going to give you a free ideas list, which is categorized between if you are an illustrator, if you are a photographer, if you are an interior designer. So there are like categories inside that list, and this is one of my free gifts. So if you stay until the end, I'm going to tell you how to get that list, and hopefully that will help you too. I'm so happy to read your comments. I'm glad you're having lots of ideas. Thank you for telling me. So yeah, this is another one of my tips. And finally, test both trendy products, but also random and crazy ideas you may have. So you can go inside those marketplaces and see what's selling the most, which are fonts and clip art and textures and all that stuff. But if you have a crazy idea or something you haven't seen but you know how to do, why not try it? You may be the first one to do it, and maybe there's lots of waiting for you to create that, and you can be known because of that. There will be no competition in that specific idea. So keep this list that I'm talking to you about, open to anything. Then the second step is to pick a theme. So you want to decide for a theme or something to base your collection. You want to brainstorm product ideas and variations under that theme. So let's say if your theme is flowers, you want to say, okay, from flowers, how many colors I can create from the same design? How many ways I can show these flowers? Or if it is a photo, how can I lay out the same products or the same image in different ways? Landscape or vertical, or vertical, I mean portrait, or I don't know, flat lay. So inside each theme, you want to have multiple ideas to create from the same product. An example, this is one of my students from the Beginner's Guide to Passive Income, and she, Christina, decided to create this design. So you can see this design here, it's the same as this one. She's just changing the colors. And with that, she has two products. So, and she's doing the same with, all of it, all of them. No, this and this is the same, and this are the same. So here you have two kind of designs that she is just, no, they are the same. Look how how she really tricks me. So it's just the same design with so many combinations. If she adds the dark background or if the background is light, then things really pop more or less, and it looks like a different design. So from the same, she can create all these variations, and she sells print on demand products, which means that she creates the design and somebody else produces the product. So that's why you can see here, this is the same as this, but it changes the size of the tray. So this is an example of just playing around with color. Now let's see my example. This is the shop I was talking to you about. These are the product mockups. So I was traveling for 6 months around Asia. And of course, I was working as a freelance also. So I had my computer and my camera with me. What I did was taking pictures of my laptop anywhere I went. This was one of the places I was in Malaysia. So I was in maybe the 30th floor or something like this. And you could see the sky, and there was this pool, this infinite pool on the top of the building. So it was a great place to take those pictures because it was easy for me while traveling. And then I created this shop that I no longer have. That's a long story, but whatever. The, the idea that I want you to keep in mind is that you can see how they are in the same location with the same product, just changing a little bit the angle, if it's portrait or landscape, if I am on it. Well, this is not me, but this is me. If I am on it, if it's alone. So from the same theme, I did all those variations. So this is the second step I want you to do. Pick a theme and create as many variations as you can. Then the third step is decide the platform you're gonna sell. You can do some research in Google, see what comes up as the first results, and take some notes of these platforms because you want to try to sell there. If they are coming on the first results of Google, that's for something. So this means that any other person who is searching for that product, they will go to that website. Then you can also ask, if you are in Facebook groups, which platforms people are buying or selling. So imagine you want to sell to an industry that you are not expert on. I don't know. Maybe you want to sell something to yoga teachers and you are not a yoga teacher, but you know how to draw yoga icons or how to take pictures and you sell photographies of yoga. Um, what you want is to find yoga teachers and ask them. So this is why I mentioned Facebook groups, but you can ask anywhere that you find that market. And finally, search also on Pinterest because Pinterest is a great tool for creatives to search and to promote your stuff. So use it as a tool to research where you want to sell. And then do this list and try to combine the most famous ones that came on the first pages of the results with other that they maybe not be so famous, but they are worth trying. In the course I was talking about the beginner's guide to passive income, I go in depth in all the platforms I'm selling, which are a lot. And there is a long video comparing them, explaining in detail. And if you ever decide to join, you will see some of them, they are really not known, but I'm always open to try because they can bring surprises, you know. Some of the big work for me, like Minted or Creative Market, but some other of the very known platforms like Spoonflower or Redbubble, they are not my main income platform at all. So by trying famous with not so much famous, it really helps you analyze and compare. So don't stay only in one platform and don't stay only in the most famous ones. Then the fourth step is creation. So I want you to take this really seriously. Do it your way. Don't try to replicate the way of others. So if you are used to design with Illustrator, do it with Illustrator. Don't uh, like for me, an example is I've never designed with Canva. And I know there is many business owners who are now fans of Canva, but I don't know how to use it and I don't feel really comfortable with it. I feel I'm losing all the potential of Photoshop. So I prefer to do things in Photoshop and sell my creations as PSD, so which is the format from Photoshop, and get clients that are okay with Photoshop and using Photoshop instead of trying to learn Canva and do something that I will not feel happy with because it will not look as professional to me as it looks in Photoshop. So these examples here, these photos, I'm selling them as a PSD, so you can edit them with Photoshop and add your design very easily. But I don't sell them as Canva files. And I have only been requested one time about Canva files. If I specify as I do here, PSD mockup, and then in the description and on the title and everywhere, people know, okay, this is for me or this is not for me. That's all. So do it your way. Don't try to change things. Then also keep the client in mind. So try to make things as easy as possible for them to use. So in that case, for the mockups, I always include some instructions and I just layer the name, I name the layers, sorry, with specific actions. So I say double click here and add your design. This is the name of the layer. So it's super easy for them to understand how to use it. And finally, keep notes of your process so that you can later find some automations, you can find some ways to do it quickly, or you can even delegate to somebody else. One day, it may be that you are able to hire somebody to help you create the products. And it's really helpful if you know your system, if you have a list of steps you always take when you create a product, or even a video recorded so you can share it with that person. Then the delivering of the files. This is once you have created your files, you want to really think how you are going to deliver this. This is the zip file usually that people will download. So you want to get it super organized in folders with clear names so that people know exactly what they are getting and where they want to go when they download your file. And I recommend you to add a PDF or a YouTube link with some instructions on how to use it. Then you will avoid having emails or conversations with people. Oh, I don't know how to use it. Can you help me? If you have that inside your zip file, they will have everything they need and they will not need extra help for you. Then the selling assets. So you want to design mockups to show your products in your business. It's not necessary for everything, but it's something that you may be aware of. So if you are selling drawings or something that people can use and create things with it, it's good to show examples of what they can create. But if you are selling a photo with the same image, it's okay. You don't need to create a mockup. Then you want to add text and important info on your product thumbnails. So as I was saying here, I really am very clear which type of file you are downloading. So you want to add this in the first image to be very, very clear. Then I also am going to give you at the end of this training a free gift just for coming. And this is a guide to design your product thumbnails. So if you stay until the end, I'm going to give you that. And finally, be very clear on your product description. So what does the description need to include? Mostly, what is it? Be very, very, very specific. It's a digital file that will not receive anything printed or anything physical. Then you want to be clear on how many files they will get and in which formats, and also how to use them. So if they need any specific apps. So in my case, I have to be very specific. They will need Photoshop. Otherwise, they cannot edit it. And it's the same if they use a JPEG or a PSD because it will not be editable. Something's optional. You can state the size or the resolution of what you are selling. So depending on what files you sell, like if you sell photography, it's very important, but if you sell paintings, maybe it's not that much. Then you want to be clear on the licenses that you are offering and what they can or cannot do. This is optional, but it's really a good idea. And sometimes it can be good to have a demo. So if you, I'm just reading. It's okay. Go take care of your baby. Okay, it's okay. You can go. And since you stayed until here, you will get the replay and you can watch later. So yes, you will get it's gonna be a time limited replay, but you will get it. I'll send an email later. So have a nice evening or day. I don't know what time is it there, but have a nice day. So as I was saying, when you sell and you explain on the description, you can also add a demo. So let's imagine you sell templates for websites. You want to include a link showing the website live done with this product or this template that you are selling. That way people can really see how their website can look with your template. It's better that than pictures or mockups. So sometimes it works to have a demo. Finally, the last step is to upload the full collection. So it's better to start with a collection rather than just one file because you give multiple options for people to buy. You can analyze them and compare which one sold best. You can tweak and try multiple names for each one of the files, formats, and see which things work better. It also gives you a more professional look when you look at your shop to have more than one product. And you will save time, and it also can bring cross sales, meaning that maybe somebody arrives through one of your products, but when they see the rest, they decide to buy 2 or 3. So it is really a good idea to start with a full collection. Finally, the last step, this is optional because as I was saying, you can also just use the platforms where you are selling and they will do the promotion for you, but you can do promotion. And usually what I do is I pin it to Pinterest and I participate in some groups, so I get promoted by other Pinterest users too. Then I email my list. So if you have an email list of subscribers, or even just to your friends and family, telling them you have this new product, then another good idea is to add the links to your website, to your blog, to Linktree on your Instagram bio, so you have multiple links anywhere, even adding it as an email signature. You can add the link to, and you can share on social media, of course. So these are some of the promo ideas. Now, where to sell? Let's compare 3 places. Your website. So your website has its pros and cons, like every option. So the pros is that you will have no competition because it's your website. Then you have freedom, so you can decide what you want to sell, how you want to sell it, the licenses, the terms, everything. It's up to you. And you don't have to pay commissions to your own website, right? So it's cheaper for you itself. So the money that they pay you, it's what you are. But some cons is that you need to do your own promotion. And if you don't have a big audience or you are not expert as a marketer, it may be harder to get sales than if you use other platforms. You probably will get less traffic because of that. I don't think you can compete with the traffic of really big platforms like Etsy or Creative Market, but maybe you can. I can't. That's why I added it as a con. And finally, you need to have a good system to sell inside your platform, because if something breaks or if something doesn't work, you are responsible of the tech. Now, print on demand sites. Some of you were asking about it, and I've tried multiple, and they are honestly not my favorite. That's why. On the pros, it's good to see your products produced by others. So, in case you don't know what's a POD, or print on demand, it means those sites like Society6, where you upload a photo or an illustration and they create multiple physical products from it. So it's great because you upload it one time and you can see so many things made from it. You can see pencil cases, but you can also see murals or wallpapers or just clothes. So many things. And this is amazing, but we will go on it on the cons. But you earn very little commission for itself because they have to pay for everything. They have to pay for the production, they have to pay for the shipping, for the promotion, and at the end of the day, you can earn more just selling the digital file and waiting for people to apply it to wherever they want than selling on print on demand sites. Then you don't need to design the mockups, as I was saying. That's a pro because you just simply upload it and they do it for you. Those platforms are really well coded, so things really are very easy to see, and they will do the promotion for you. But on the cons, as I was saying, you earn little commission. So usually for a product sold at $30 or $40, you would just earn $2 or $3. So it's very low compared to selling directly the digital product. You cannot be creative in the types of files to sell. They will tell you, we need JPEG in this resolution and in RGB, that's all. If you cannot do it that way, they cannot produce the product. So you are limited on that, and you get competitors inside the same platform, and it can be really hard for you to stand out. Finally, there are digital marketplaces like Creative Market, as I was explaining before, where to me, it's one of the best places to sell. So the pros are that they will do the promotion for you. They have a clear target. So there are some that are better for designers, some other for photographers, some other for big brands, some other for fashion designers, etc., etc. They are very easy to use for both you and the client, which is really important. and you get higher commission than in POD platforms. Then the cons is that you get competitors inside the same platform, so sometimes it's also hard to stand out. And in some of those platforms, not all of them, you need to be approved to open a shop or a store, or even sometimes to upload every new product. So you don't have the freedom that you had on your website, where you can sell anything you want, how you want it. So now I want to share with you my honest review of Creative Market, okay? So Creative Market for me is one of the best platforms to sell, because it's really a trendy marketplace. That's where many people go and purchase things. It's very easy to use. It has very clear licenses. So to me, I don't have to worry what people will be using things for or how much I should charge for each one of them. They make it easy. They offer, I think it's 3 licenses. They tell me this is for this is for, like, there is one for personal, another one for up to 500 or 5,000, can't remember, production items, and then the other is unlimited. So I can say, okay, for the personal, charge this, for the medium, charge that, and for the super premium, charge much more. So it's very easy. There are some Pinterest groups to promote and get exposure to the products. Then it's very good for medium high pricing, because there are some other platforms where things really sell so cheap, like at $1 or so, that it's hard to really earn income. So I appreciate that Creative Market has kind of a good standard to me. And the only bad thing I find is that it needs your approval. So they need to approve you to open a shop. But once you are inside, you don't need to get approved for each product you upload. You can upload anything you want. So this is my experience. I have 2 shops there. One I only have, now I only have one, but I have been using or selling in 2 shops. And this is where I sell mainly watercolor clip arts at $15, this is the price, but this is not what I earn. So as you can see, this is the revenue I've made, and this is how much I've earned. So these are my statistics in this shop. And then you can see here from my mockups shop, which I sell at much lower price. So the other one was 15, this is 4. Again, I'm making all that revenue. So it's not like I feel super comfortable sharing my stats, but this is something I did on my course, The Beginner's Guide to Passive Income, and people really appreciate it, because they say they cannot find these honest reviews from people who are just like you and me. We are not gurus, or we are not like the most famous ones. I bet you didn't heard about me maybe a year ago or even a week ago. I don't know when you discovered me, but I'm not a famous person, but I'm making money. So I want to show these examples so you can see that you can do it too. Okay, so how you can start now and apply everything you have learned. Well, these are the steps. You have to decide the kind of product you will start right now. Right now, I mean, it doesn't need right now, but in the next days. Then you need to brainstorm 15, 20 themes of products to create under that category, and with all the possibilities we were talking about. So colors, shapes, etc. Then you need to decide which platforms you will start with and check the requirements of those platforms. So if they require you to upload always thank you. Okay, thank you, Phil. Yeah, so you found me just few weeks or days ago, right? So yeah, I see. What I'm trying to say is I'm just a normal person, right? I'm not one of those super famous gurus who are gonna tell you, oh, I've done millions of dollars selling digital products and you can do it too. No, I do normal income, but it's really a good income for me, and I want to share this with other people who are at my level or normality level, we can say. So I just wanted to show the reality from our point of view. So as I was saying, you need to follow these steps. You need to decide which platforms you want to sell and check the requirements. So if they require you to upload always a JPEG, you want to be aware of that. That's what I mean. I'm reading your comments and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so you need to create 5 to 10 products to start your collection. You need to take notes of all the steps you needed to create the product so you can replicate it later or ask somebody to help you. You need to upload them for sale, celebrate, and repeat the process so you can create more and more and more products. So these are the steps. Now, if you want more help, I would like to invite you to my membership, the Passive Income Growth Academy. As I told you at the beginning, I created this because I saw that even though I was doing online trainings and offering group programs, people tend to get stuck during the process. They felt overwhelmed and they needed more time and more help during their process. So I decided to turn everything I had into a membership form that it's a very low cost and includes everything you will need to get started, to continue creating products. Because as I told you, one thing it's you need to get started as soon as possible, but the other is you need to be consistent and you need to create lots of products. So inside the membership, you will find a 5-day challenge, which I called the product number 1 challenge, to help you get started with the easiest and fastest possibilities. There I cover all the platforms I recommend you to get started with, and I'll help you choose what would be the best for you because each one of us is different. Then you also have another training in which I show you the clear step-by-step strategy to follow for the next 3 months or 90 days or whatever time you want to dedicate to help you build a store that clients love and that brings you lots of sales. Then every week we meet on co-working sessions. They are silent sessions, but we also have some moments to chat, to ask quick questions, and to help you move from doubt to taking action. And you can find yourself surrounded by other online creatives from all over the world. So it's a great way to don't feel that lonely and to share your progress with us. Then we also have monthly plans in which I share with you my inspiration and some prompts based on current trends and on what I am assuming that client will need in the future. So they come packaged with some inspiration images, some product ideas, but also keyword research already done for you and some other help to basically encourage you to take action and to never get stuck in what can you do next. And finally, you also have an amazing community. We have people from all over the world. It's quite active, and you will find there other creatives that are just like you, getting started or creating new products, starting with their passive income journey. Everyone is at a different stage, but they all help each other. I really, really love it, and I'm very active there. So you can join us and you will see how cool it's everything. Here you have one comment from one of the members. As you see, she said, "Thank you, Claudia, for starting the Piga membership group. The training in this group is outstanding. I've literally been searching for ages for a simplified step-by-step plan that's included in one of the training sessions, and that information itself is worth a year of the membership." I really am super grateful for that comment, and it's exactly what I wanted. I want to create quick, easy to understand and easy to apply with lots of action tips so that you can move forward. It's not theory based, it's more helping you move from not understanding or not taking a decision to actually implementing things. She also said the community is genuinely supportive and having the platform all under one roof and it not being on Facebook makes it easy and comfortable to use. Truly, the membership is an invaluable resource. Thanks again. So as you can see, she's super happy and she's not the only one. Here is another comment. This is a screenshot directly from Circle, which is the platform I'm using for the membership. And Sherry said, I'm so inspired by this group and have been taking the steps to publish more products frequently. I created 3 products last week and posted 1 for sale, and surprise, I got 1 sale already. Thank you for the support, everyone. And I replied to her and she said, thank you, Claudia. I followed your master plan. This is one of the trainings you will find inside the Piga membership. And she said, I just repurposed all designs which you suggested. And yes, I was looking at the other ladies' works here and I just got so inspired to take action. All the advice I got here in the group made a massive difference. And that's not all. You will also have, as I said, lots of access to me and you will get my input when you need it. You will have a library with resources and mini trainings to help you with multiple platforms. So this is not focused to only one type of product. And the Piga marketplace, which is one of my favorite features. It's something new we just released, and it's going to be the option for you to submit the products you are creating each month so that I showcase them under my website and I promote them to my list. This will help you get more views, probably more sales, but it will also encourage you to get active, to get consistent, to create new products, because there is a deadline every month, and if you submit it under that deadline, you will be published by the end of that period, and if not, you will have to wait for the next deadline. And I find deadlines to be super helpful, so you will see how this is going to be very fun, and hopefully it will help you boost your sales and views in your stores. Here we have another series of comments. Catherine, she said, starting a creative business on the side can be lonely sometimes. Having this community where you can talk to like-minded people is a great way to stay motivated on this journey. Then Vivian, she said, Claudia is so helpful and efficient. Her style is really friendly. I'm definitely learning to implement lots of new creative ways to achieve more with my digital content creation. And finally, Deborah, she said, thank you so much for the fast replies. I'm also going through the workbook and I love how thorough it is. I like that it's not just like do research, it actually has all right questions for somebody who might not know what all do research entails. I'm super easily distracted and overwhelmed, so I can't begin to describe how much I appreciate that. You have more comments in the sales page or underneath this video too, and here's a recap of everything you get for the price. You will get instant access to the trainings and content. You will get help and support from the community to grow your passive income. You will lock this price for as long as you wish to stay. This is a monthly price and you can cancel at any time. So it's very, very easy to leave the community if you don't want to continue there. Let me do a quick tour for you inside it so you can see how it goes, and then I'll reveal how to get the free gifts in case you don't want to join. So this is how it looks. As you see, we are on Circle. Everything it's very minimal and simple to use. You have the menu here on the left, and we have a general discussions area where people ask questions or start threads. Then you have the member introductions where new people are just presenting themselves. We have the monthly plan and inspiration. This is what I was telling you. Every month there is a plan for you in which you get a PDF, and I also explain with a short video what are the trends and what things I suggest you to focus on. And then you can here publish whatever you are working on, and you'll get feedback or help if you need it. You can also pose your questions here under design and tech questions, and you can share your wins under this section where you can celebrate your sales, you can show what you have been doing, etc. Then these are the trainings. The product number one challenge, as I told you, every day you have a workbook, and then every day you have a mini video explaining you what to do, and then you can move from one to the other. The digital product master plan, this is the 90-day plan I recommend you to follow once you have decided what your first product is, and you can go day by day, watch the lessons, download the workbook, or move to the next lesson. And then under resources and tutorials, this is the area that's growing every few weeks, every days, every month, depending on your requests or the needs I see. I'll be uploading more tutorials here about platforms, tips, etc. You have also a calendar and event section, and you have here all the links. As I was telling you, the marketplace, you can submit your products through this form. There is always a timer telling you when is the next deadline, and then you would submit here the products and they will display in the marketplace. So this is what it looks inside the membership. Let's go back to the presentation and tell you how to get your hands into the free gifts. So the free gifts are first a guide on how to design your product thumbnails or promo images. The second one is a list of 40 product ideas for different niches and creative businesses. And the third one is a sales and passive income tracker. They will be included in the membership, so if you join, you'll find it there. But if you decide not to join, which is totally fine, as I told you, all you have to do is email me to Claudia at heartmade.es with the password strawberry, and I'll send you the gifts. You can write anything you want on the email. You can use the password inside some text. Some people are creative and they just do a text and inside they put strawberry. Some others, they just use the password and they tell me what they liked about the training or why they are not joining. Whatever, you feel free to write me. This is a personal email I'll receive, and I'll reply to you. So yeah, don't think you are just contacting the robot. And that was it. Now it's Q&A time. For those who are live here, feel free to ask any questions you may have and I'll cover them. And if you are watching the replay and you have some questions, you can contact me through my email and I'll reply to you as soon as possible. Do you get many requests from people for support, like needing help with a download or to use the product or some other issue? How do you handle those requests? Do they take much time? No. No to everything. So I don't really receive many requests. I think I could count them with my hand how many I've received over the years. So no, the answer it doesn't. If you follow my steps, as I was telling you, if you are very clear on the thumbnails, on the description, and then you add some instructions on your files, you are covering all that. Maybe at the beginning people have some doubts, or you are not aware that people can be questioning some areas. So maybe at the beginning you get some more questions, but once you learn the lesson, you can always edit your files, upload them again, and you are covered. And no, it doesn't take me a lot of time. And how do I handle them? Well, I get an email from the platform, whatever it is, that says somebody sent you a message, and then I go there and I reply them. That's all. If there is the moment, so if somebody doesn't know how to download, or if it's a technical issue from the platform, since I'm selling in another platform, not in my own website, I'll tell them to contact the customer support because they are the experts. So that's the good thing about selling in other platforms, that you don't need to cover the technical details. I hope that solves your question. Um, okay, so another question I saw here. There was one at the chat. I'm a writer, but this was amazing and made me think of my passive income from writing. I have to go. Oh, okay, it wasn't a question. Okay, it's okay. You you can go. I guess you went already. But thank you for letting me know that it helped you, and thanks for your comment. So another question: do you guide to do a Shopify store? Is there a plugin we can use on our sites to sell on Shopify? I ask this because you can sell directly from Pinterest if you do. Okay, so no, I don't guide on how to use a Shopify store, but it's super easy to upload products on Shopify. So there is a way to upload digital products. Then, is there a plugin we can use on your site to sell on Shopify? I'm not understanding where the plugin would be connected. I don't know if you are thinking on selling from Creative Market and other platforms and then connecting it to Shopify. I guess the biggest ones, they have some plugins, but usually what they offer you, it's kind of a code, an HTML code that you add it on your website. It can work with Shopify, WordPress, wherever, and you just copy and paste that code and it will integrate the shop. I think Etsy does this, and maybe Creative Market too. Okay, I'm checking if there are more questions. I think they are not. So if that's all, we're gonna wrap this. Thank you so much for everybody who came, who have been commenting. It really helped me. It really helped me and cheered me up. So I really appreciate it. Okay, so I think this is all. Thank you so much. Really, it makes me super happy to see you so uh, appreciative. That's a word. Grateful. Yeah, that's the word. So thank you so much. It was fun for me. I hope it was also for you, and for what I'm reading, I can tell you have been learning new things. So thanks so much for joining. I'll stop the recording and I'll stop this session, and I'll send you an email very, very soon.